How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Truck Driver Sean YouTube channel. Again, I'm going to preface, there's a lot of people that watch my stuff based on guitar stuff. I'm really into fragrances. Those of you who don't know me are probably like, what the heck? But I really have been. And every once in a while, somebody comes into contact with you in this little like hobby, obsession, whatever you want to call it, with fragrances. That's just a genuine human being. And unfortunately, one of the best that I came into contact with in the fragrance community sadly passed away. And it was like, I literally talked to him like 2 days before he passed. Or, messaged him. Never physically spoke to the man, but messaged him quite a bit. He thought a lot of my videos were silly and funny and thought it was a good breath of fresh air. And was kind of encouraging me to do what I'm doing now. It just took me a minute to get my thumb out of my ass to do it, and that's to incorporate my music into my fragrance videos and kind of make that a highlight. He always liked to listen to my guitar playing, and he was a huge fan of Black Sabbath. Hence, the beginning was a little Sabbath-esque. It's a little nod to my boy Carlos. All right, so the fragrance we're going to talk about today, you cannot buy, which, if anyone in the fragrance community is watching this, we should all harass the living shit out of Steven to keep this going. I know it was a labor of love to get it up, and I imagine he was so close to Carlos. And Carlos used to talk about him to nauseam, what a nice guy he was. He told me, it's like, you got to meet him sometime. He's such a good guy. And I don't know, just after Carlos passed, I dropped right off. I kind of walked away from the fragrance stuff for a little while. I was still collecting fragrances and stuff, but I don't know, things weren't the same for a while, so I'm dipping back into it, and come to find out, a lot of things have changed, which is kind of cool, because I'm not in that lane, so it just makes it fun, right? But anyhow, the fragrance we're talking about today is Redbrook Performance. Now, this came out a little bit back ago, but like I've been sitting with this, and I wear this at least one weekend a month. My bottle's getting a little shifty in levels. So, Steve, please make another batch of these. I can guarantee I'll buy one. It's so good. And it sucks that Carlos isn't here today to know how much or how great this fragrance actually is and the legs it has to stand on. Now, a little backstory about this, and I know no one likes story time, but you know what, this fragrance is very special to me, and it saddens me that I'm getting low on it, because I do wear it a lot because I love it. It is so good. It is so good. I can't. It's probably one of my favorite fragrances that came out for a very long time. And I love it. And for reasons that, for the fragrances I like, it's going to surprise you a little bit. But anyhow, long story short, Steven from Redolescence had been having quite a bit of success doing his Navatus brand. And Carlos kind of, he wanted to do fragrances too. And he was like, I'd like to do something. Of course, he wants to do it with Steven, because they just did a lot of stuff together. I mean, if you're watching fragrance videos, how many videos have you seen where Carlos and Steven did videos together? And it was so funny seeing them two together. It's part of what's going on in fragrance today that's missing, in my opinion. We're never going to have that again, because that was genuine. That's something you can't fake. That was 100% genuine, their friendship. They didn't have to make believe to have a good time and to act that silly. And if anybody ever knew Carlos, he was silly to a fault, and one of the kindest guys you ever could come in contact with. But anyway, I'm trying not to upset myself. It's still tough for me that such a good guy went, and it just was he should be here with us today. One, to see that something he helped put together is phenomenal. All right, so it's called the Underground Edition. Steven was kind enough, after Carlos passed, to still put this out. it was on the ropes there for a little bit, and I'm glad he did. And I will say this probably 50 times in this video. Let's do another run, okay? Because it's very good. Very good. Don't fuck with the formula. Same exact thing. It is amazing. I'd even go as far as say, if you don't want to do the Redbrook thing, do a Navitus and call the Navitus Redbrook. Navitus Redbrook, and have it be this. And just keep this fragrance alive. Not just to help keep Carlos's name out there, but it is an amazing fragrance. One, it's nuclear. It lasts a really long time. All right, so the box, you open it up. You have a little piece of paper, which they have a nice write-up in there. Stephen hand-numbered and signed them. I'm not going to go ahead and read all this to you. I'll hold it up close. Maybe it will focus itself in good, and you can pause it and read it if you want. Oh, hey, look at that. There you go. I don't know how good that will come out, but you can try. This is bottle 197 out of 1,000. I'm so glad they sold out, but at the same time it's slightly irritating because I can't get another bottle. But it's super awesome. It comes in a matte black on gold, or gold on matte black bottle with cap. It's an awesome cap. You can hold it by it. Not that it would take much at this point because it's getting low. So it looks sexy time, right? We can all agree on that. It's very good. I really don't want to squirt this, but I know if you don't squirt it, these fragrance guys, they lose their fucking shit. Cry like a bunch of bitches. It's like one of those, here's one for my homies. Little something for Catos, man. It's a great sprayer. And it just smells awesome. Okay, let's get it. Because right off the bat, what I love about this fragrance, I don't know how it does it. The tangerine that's in this is fucking phenomenal. It's like you took a fresh tangerine, and you know when you just get that knot, yanking it open, and you get the juices from the tangerine plus the zest all kind of like mixing together when they do that first rip. That's what it smells like. Spot on, 100% fresh cranked open tangerine, and it stays through the whole fragrance. You get that tangerine. Now things that move around a little bit, and maybe it's the ginger that holds it still. Sometimes ginger will do that with some fragrances. If ginger's in there, you might not get a lot of ginger, which like in this, you don't get a ton of ginger. You get a little bit. Kind of gets like a nice little fizziness, sort of like a ginger ale. But that tangerine just stays right there, and it's so good. It's amazing. Then you get the pink pepper, which kind of brings it a little more into the masculine, but it's not so masculine that a woman can't wear this, by the way. Personally, I think it smells good on everything. If you could readily get this stuff, I'd say splash it on your trash can, so your trash can don't smell like shit. It's that fucking good. And it's nuclear ass strong. Alright, so once you get into that ginger and you get the pink pepper comes in, the pink pepper kind of stays right there, sort of, kind of, not strong though. Just stays there to kind of keep that peppery anchor right there. But that tangerine still like, it's coming after you, man. That shit's clawing as fuck, but in a good way. Not clawing in a bad way. Then you get a couple of the usual suspects. The patchouli, the Haitian vetiver, which you find coming into the base of almost all fragrances. You're going to find one, if not both of those. Very, very common. But then about a half hour later, it kind of gets a little sweet. And that's from the vanilla and the chocolate. All right? It's such a good mixture, and it's done so elegantly that it doesn't become so sweet that it's like sticky. No. It just adds a little bit of sweetness, but that tangerine stays there. So it's like kind of like a woody, sugared tangerine or a creamy tangerine. Like a woody, creamy tangerine. That's what it's like. And it lasts like up to 10 hours on my skin, man. And I'm difficult on a lot of fragrances, but this thing here, I love this. And every single time I wear it, 100% of the time, people go crazy for it. And if Carlos was here today, he would love that I'm going to say this, because it was the favorite thing that I did, even though a lot of people give me a ton of shit for it in the fragrance community. That's right. Fuck all you guys. This is bitch bait, son. Let me tell you what. Women love the shit out of this. They just do. Like, random women come up to me constantly, and let's face it, this is not a bastion of sexiness. I'm a doughy motherfucker. I got gray hair. I'm unkept like a homeless piece of shit. But they'll still come up to me and go, oh my God, you smell amazing. Constantly. So again, this fragrance is great. You can't buy it, so this is kind of like a none for naught, but it took me a while to do this video because I wanted the fragrance to be mine for a little while before I shared. I know that probably makes me out to be a crazy person, quite possibly, but I'm one of the probably billion people that Carlos touched, you know, and how he found the time to live his life and to answer questions from people. That dude's motorcycle is ridiculous, by the way. It is absolutely ridiculous. That dude probably got a pee-pee about that big, because his bike is fucking redonkulous. Anyhow, back to this. He really did. And he's sorely missed. And I will say this. The community is just not the same without him. It's just not. I don't know. His passing kind of soured the community on me. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Either that was just happenstance and it happened at the same time, but I still, whenever I think about Carlos, I get a little sad. You know, and he's just such a good dude. And he was infinitely happy. You know, I miss seeing him excited to smell something that really jazzed him good, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, he made fragrance fun. That's a good way to put it. He made fragrance fun. And he was kind of like that bright light when everything else was a little boring. You had Carlos's crazy ass. He was just a good dude. And you know, him and Steven working together is great, because sometimes Steven can be a little dry. And then you have Carlos, who's not. And it was great, because it showed you another side of Steven. And that's how Carlos was. He brought out the best in everybody. I'm still to this day not ever heard anyone speak bad of him. I know a lot of people were like getting a little crazy. He had a couple drunken live streams. Really don't know what was up with that. I knew he liked to get his toddy on, but I don't know. Even when I asked him about it, I was like, dude, what the hell's going on? His reply was, I don't know, just having a lot of good time. So he owned it. But anyhow, Redbrook Parfums, you cannot buy this. But if you ever want to see it again, my advice would be to harass the living shit out of Steven from Redolescence. Like I said, I don't care if this comes out as Redbrook as a brand, but it would be nice to see it exist. Even if it has to be like a Navitus with Redbrook, and do a special bottle that maybe has like an etching of Carlos or something on it, and give proceeds away to the charity like you did with this. But the fragrance should live on. I know our memories of Carlos are gonna, but the next generation's just going to see YouTube videos of this guy, and they're going to be like, oh, I love this guy, and he's no longer here. Because we have happened with a couple other people. So please, Steven, if you've suffered through the 15 minutes of this video, please, for the love of God, make another run of these. Make it a thing. Make this live on. Alright? Please. For the community, for people who like good fragrances, and for Carlos. Really, at the end of the day, it's got to exist. It just has to. And my bottle's getting low, man. I don't need another bottle. Because the stuff is just genuinely good. It's fucking phenomenal. It's bitch bait. 100% bitch bait. Alright? Very cool. Thank you for tuning in. And, yeah, Sorry if this seemed like I was dragging on, but I really didn't know what to say, and I didn't know how to do this quick. Because like I said, I genuinely miss the man. And I think a lot of other people do too. And he left a good fragrance behind, but only 1,000 people are going to experience that. I think that's a travesty. Let's do another run. Let's all like take the time to talk about Carlos. Keep him alive. Maybe share a couple of his videos when you see this. And your feeds of your social media. Let's bring a little Carlos back. Alrighty. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you in the next video. Later.